Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're not new here, welcome back. My name is Florence and I'm an artist and a stay-at-home mom. Today's video is another color with me using alcohol markers. I'm planning on continuing this series, and if you'd like to see the first portrait I did using markers, you can find it here. So right now I'm working on the line art, and I like filming this process to share with others because 1, it's pretty calming to watch, and 2, I'd like for people to see how much time and patience it takes to do it. It could be frustrating, I'm not gonna lie about that or sugarcoat it. I transfer using graphite paper, lightly erase everything, and then go back over everything with either a watercolor pencil or a Prismacolor kohl erase pencil. I usually use carmine red, but this time I use a purple pencil. This process takes forever, and I am considering getting a light box, finally. I've been enjoying using alcohol markers way more than I thought I would. If I'm being honest, I held off trying these because I was a bit put off with the price of them. At the time I was looking at them, the only brand that was well known was CapCut. The set I used in this video is by Ohuhu. They sent me the pastel set a while ago, and then I bought the skin tone set on my own. And then I started buying a few CapCut markers as well. Now I have 8 CapCut sketch markers total, and it's hard to hold myself back whenever I go to Blick. But I set a goal for myself, that after every market I have, depending on how well I do, I'll buy a few art supplies that I need or want to collect. And currently I'm collecting CapCut markers. So a bit more about this portrait I'm working on. This is the second in a series of 5 that I did, and each portrait is an OC. I guess all of my characters would be considered OCs, but I have 5 main ones that I have drawn multiple times. This was one of the first characters I drew back in 2018 when I got back into art. After I graduated college, I took a break because I was so focused on working in the hospital. I was incredibly burnt out after I graduated, and the guy I was with at the time constantly put down my art, so I just stopped creating, which was stupid on my part. But when I got with my now husband, he really encouraged me to start drawing again, and I did, but I didn't do that much until about 2021, when I left my job and focused on art full-time. Now we're moving on to coloring. I wasn't too happy with the colors I chose for this piece. I didn't have many pink shades at this time, so it wasn't the exact shade of pink I wanted. Literally yesterday, I bought 3 pink shades of CapCut markers for the purpose of a fun little bubblegum and marceline piece I'm about to start working on. So now I have more pinks. I'm slowly building up my collection. I'm also getting more into colored pencils, which is very unlike me. Another fun fact about me, I actually am not too fond of colored pencils. I bought a set of floral colors from Prismacolor, and I use them here and there, but lately I've been using them way more, like for shading and details, especially with these alcohol markers. But Prismacolor pencils are a little bit too soft for my liking. Some people may describe them as buttery, and a lot of people like that, but I do not. I like a harder lead. So I started trying out new brands, and I bought a few from, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but it's Faber-Castell. They have different color pencil collections, and my favorite currently is the Goldfaber so far. Goldfaber. I have a shade from their Polychromos collection, but honestly, I don't have a clear idea of what the exact differences are. I'm just trying them out and seeing what I like the most. I want to try Holbein colored pencils, but the only option that was available at the Blick I went to was the set of 12. And I don't know about you, but I'm not dropping nearly $50 on a set that I'm not sure I'll even like. So I'll be ordering some individual shades from Blick's website soon. I just prefer to go in person and try out art supplies and see it before I buy it. Are any of you the same way? Going off topic, here's a random unrelated question for y'all. Please let me know in the comments, but are there any popular movies y'all have watched that you just didn't like? Like a movie that seems like everybody adores and you watch it with all these expectations and you were just left feeling disappointed. Because I have. One particular movie comes to mind that I've seen, not too recently, but a few months ago, and I'm hoping I don't offend anybody by talking about this. I went to theaters to watch Longlegs, and I was so excited to see it because I love some horror, nothing incredibly graphic, but disturbing, fascinating, a little bit on like the psychological side, especially when it comes to cults and stuff. Like I enjoy movies like Mother, Suspiria, Possession. Everything on paper about Longlegs was right up my alley. I should have loved this movie. I also love Nicolas Cage. So I was really excited. I also heard many great things about it. However, I made the mistake of bringing my mom with me to go see it. If you don't already know this, my mom is a very religious woman, so if you've seen Longlegs, you know where this is going. I don't want to mention any spoilers in case some of y'all haven't seen it and want to, but I should have done a little bit more research before bringing my mom to see this movie, because it was a little bit jarring for her. That particular aspect didn't bother me. What bothered me was how underwhelmed I felt. I think I had my expectations so high because of all the accolades. I wanted to love this movie, and I just don't. So, tell me a movie that is considered a masterpiece, but you just personally didn't like, or didn't like as much as everyone else. Okay, back to this portrait. Do you say render when referring to this stage? I do just as a general term. Essentially, I'm doing line work with some pens, adding shading with color pencils, or cleaning up some areas, and adding some gouache layers and highlights. I think gouache works really well with alcohol markers, at least with this particular paper I'm using. The paper is mixed media and it has a slight texture. I just bought an actual alcohol marker pad and I'm still practicing on it to get a feel for it. I'm trying markers on different paper types to get a sense of what I prefer. For instance, I prefer watercolor on hot press watercolor paper. I haven't really tried markers on watercolor paper yet, but I plan to. And for those of you who want to try alcohol markers, I have seen some people online complain about markers bleeding through paper, and therefore they suck, right? I'm going to tell you now, I've tried Copic and Ohuhu on various papers just to test it out. Bleeding is pretty much inevitable, even on alcohol marker paper. It all depends on how much pigment you put down, layers, etc., but pretty much, yeah, it bleeds. With marker paper, it does bleed less, but it's there. If you're concerned about bleeding, just put a scrap paper behind the paper you're working on. Or with Ohuhu products, they come with these plastic sheets that are pretty useful. I haven't tried anything yet that has no bleed whatsoever, so if any of y'all have found something like that, let me know below. Or keep your secrets if you wish. And that's all I have for y'all today. I hope y'all like the portrait. My next alcohol marker video will most likely be about the bubbling piece I'm about to start working on, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more art videos. Bye!